hold really doesn't shut off.
Oh, that's good. Hi, Mom.
Okay.
Alright.
Go to takeoff position.
Cessna 559 traffic on the upwind northbound, make east channel departure, runway 34, cleared for takeoff.
Doors and seat belts.
Alright.
Windows closed. Landing light is on.
Doors almost closed. There we go. That's better.
4 degrees.
Charlie, North Tower Top parking with pop.
We got 325.
We're 313 Delta Charlie, Renton down at runway 34, taxi the Alpha.
Taxi 34 Alpha, the Alpha 3 Delta Charlie.
And now we got a switch. 1 to 4.7. Front Tower, Skyhawk 9730 Victor at 34, hold short.
This 9730 Victor, Renton Tower, traffic on the upwind, northbound, make east channel departure, runway 34, cleared for takeoff.
34, clear takeoff, east channel departure, 30 Victor, sorry.
Good, that's alright.
The old plane.
Yeah. Okay.
Numbers on final. Last check.
That's good. I always do sort of a lights, camera, action. So our lights are on, our transponder, hit the altitude button. There you go. And we are clear. Okay, heat is off, air is on.
Was it? Oh, jeez.
No, it was off, but...
There's our traffic on the airplane.
Good. Power set, gauges are green. Airspeed is alive.
Seaplanes down there.
Looks like just a whole lot of boats. A lot of boats.
Get your 29 Victor, you can contact Seattle departure on 119.2 for flight following. Have a good flight.
Full departure 19.2, 10 Victor, yeah.
Okay. So even right now, I'm kind of looking in our direction of travel. Yeah, there's some clouds, but I think we'll be able to get around or over them.
Delta Charlie and 34 ready to go East Channel.
And we want to be as high as we possibly can with the airspace, because if we lost our engine...
313 Delta Charlie, Renton Tower, make East Channel departure, runway 34, cleared for takeoff.
3-4, clear for takeoff East Channel, 3 Delta Charlie.
Cessna 559, have a good flight.
Thank you, Cessna 20559.
Red Tower, bit 1 Quebec Whiskey, holding short, 3-4, ready.
Now with the airspace, Bravo starts at 3,000 feet, but we can go, all the way up to, but not including. So we'll climb to, say, 2,500 until we're clear of that section, then we'll continue closer.
This is right past lake.
Yeah.
Okay, start my turn, right?
Well, we have to go out to east.
Victor, have a good flight.
Yep, thank you, 30 Victor.
What we don't want to do, we don't want to cut over Victoria, because inbound traffic might be there.
We want to go over the bridge and then make a turn.
Correct. Yeah, also that'll give us more room to climb.
Currently 6 miles.
Traffic.
East, south of the airport.
Over there? Alright.
Down low.
Runway 34.
Okay.
6448, Renton Tower, continue inbound.
I'm looking for him.
1 o'clock.
448.
537 Quebec, just southeast.
Dark clear.
Requesting full stop.
Okay. Which direction are they going?
Head Narrow, Quebec, Renton
Okay.
Tower, ident, make Lake Young's arrival, report Maple Golf Course inbound.
Sorry, still not seeing them.
Arrival 9537.
Are we still clear of them?
I don't see him now.
Okay. And then just make sure we stay on the north side of I-90 here, because we want to make sure not to cut across Victoria, the mall area.
Okay, I'm going to call in and activate the flight plan.
Okay.
122.2. Seattle radio, Skyhawk 9730 Victor.
We're getting blown over that way. Let's make sure we stay on the north side of I-90.
Aircraft on Seattle radio, 122.20, stand by your number 2. November 759 Juliet Hotel, your V45 plan is activated. Pilot reports appreciated. For additional weather, contact flight watch on 1220. Aircraft on Seattle radio, 122.20, please verify call sign and request.
Skyhawk 9730 Victor, would like to activate my flight plan at 30 minutes past the hour.
And November 9730 Victor, your V4 flight plan is activated 38 seconds ago. Pilot reports appreciated. For additional weather, contact flight watch on 122.0.
Roger that, 30 Victor.
Good. That's funny, he was very specific, 38 seconds ago.
Alright, so we're still climbing, I was trying to get to our...
Oh yeah, push the range up.
There's our class Bravo 3000, which we're pretty dang close now.
Yeah. We'll just stay here at 27 to 2800 for now until we're clear of it. And we can see on the charts as it goes kind of right through the middle of Lake Sammamish. Once we're past kind of that point over there, then we're fine.
Yeah, it looks like this tip right there. Right?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, it's going to be bumpy down low, but once we get up high, it should be smoother. Good, actually, I can see the direction we're going. We do have kind of this empty...
hole.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good. Alright, I'd say we're past. Okay, so... while we're climbing, we got... the one thing to note is, especially in the 172, on a warm days we just have to sort of watch our oil temperature. Because the high RPM plus a low rise steeper than the airplane can climb. That's just an important thing to note. And on a day like this, it's a little bit hazy, so it's kind of hard to see where that horizon is. But as a general rule, if you can see the horizon over the peak, then we're above it. So like this mountain here with the antennas up on top, you kind of see where the horizon is above it. So we know we're clear of that peak. Those ones, not so much.
Right.
And that makes sense because we know those are at like 5,000 feet or something. So that's a thing to watch for. So now as we climb, we're going to kind of look at. So I looked at the winds aloft, and the winds are out of the northwest-ish at like 5 knots. Right. To calm, kind of depends. But assuming it's blowing, then the areas where we'd expect to find turbulence and downdrafts would be, of course, on the downside. So you see Mount Si up ahead, kind of the bare rock face. Right. In that valley down in there, we'd expect that side to be fairly turbulent.
Not on this side, but behind, right?
Yeah, correct, because the wind's kind of coming over that way. But here on this side of this hill here, we'd expect to find maybe some updrafts, probably some turbulence too, but not, won't be bad. But as we get closer, we'll kind of take a look at, we always want to know what is our out. If something happens right now, if we lose an engine or if we get into a downdraft that we can't climb out of, which happens, then where do we go? Like how do we, where do we get away from higher terrain? So right now, looking at us, we're nice and flat on that side, yeah, but we're high on this side. So if anything happens, we just turn left. That's our first move. But coming up a little later, that might change.
Right.
So we'll always kind of have to have, or we'll want to have that in mind. If something goes wrong, which way do I go right now?
Kind of a backup plan.
Yeah.
So, as we get further down this valley, I would probably plan to come back.
Good.
Because that's our lower terrain, right?
Good, yeah. And as we get further along into the mountains, then kind of our spots of where we're going to go if something goes wrong will change. And it changes based on the terrain for updrafts and downdrafts, and also changes based on where we can land in an emergency. So part of when you plan the flight kind of looks at that, and like you said, flying along I-90, that gives us a really good out all the time. That's good.
So, do you fly these mountains often?
Not terribly often, but probably about, at least in this season, at least once a month, probably a little more.
Do you find there's a better time of the day to do this?
Morning. Well, it depends actually. It's usually cloudier in the morning, but better performance in the morning.
Okay.
And smoother. And in the evening it tends to be cumulus clouds and bumpy, so I don't know, it sort of depends.
Okay.
But if I have the choice, I'll try to go over in the morning, just because it's, the winds and stuff are going to be smoother. Usually when I go basically as high as I possibly can, because then my limit becomes hypoxia in the altitude. And the poor airplane, it doesn't climb very well. So that's one thing we're starting to notice, is we're up at 4,500 feet right now. But we might want to lean the mixture out a little bit, and we'll listen to the RPM. No, that's probably good about there. So I was listening for, as you lean it, if the RPM increases a little bit, you just set it to the peak RPM. However, low enough, that looks about right. It should be
25.
Actually, I might enrich that just a little bit, a couple turns. Yeah, just to make sure. And we can see our EGT gauge all the way to the left of your airspeed. It's up, but it's not too high. So that's good.
Where do we want to keep that on this gauge?
It depends. Generally, you don't want it to be in the upper half of the gauge for the climb. Once we cruise, then we're going to go through the leaning procedure, and we'll set it based on the peak of the EGT. But generally speaking, if that was showing in the upper half of the gauge during climb, I'd want to enrich in the mixture, because that might be just too hot.
Okay.
5,000, we're coming up on, well, there's Falls City, that's going to be the edge of the...
Alright, there's our 6,000.
Good. So we are clear all the way above us. So as we're flying into this, what I'm going to be looking at is a couple things, and the clouds are going to actually tell us kind of a lot about what's going on. So we can see there's actually not much vertical building, and it's fairly consistently layered over there. They are cumulus though, so that does indicate updrafts, but they're probably more thermal updrafts than anything. However, we do have this nice gap in the valley, and then more updrafts, and you can see that probably is what's called orographic lifting, but that probably is where it's being lifted up by the terrain.
Right over this hill, right?
Yeah, right. So you see I-90 snakes its way, and then you got a little snow on the hill, and it looks like those clouds might be, hard to tell, they might be past the hill a little bit, but they're probably getting pushed up from it. These clouds closer to us are probably pushed up from this hill right here. So that's one way that we can visualize the airflow a little bit. Of course, we can't see the airflow below the clouds because they're, it's warmer than the dew point, but we can definitely see some of the air lifting.
It looks like we'll be able to climb over them.
Yeah.
If we had to.
Yeah, this looks good. And so this continues following the rule of not, try to outclimb the terrain, so this is good. Yeah, and we'll be able to get over the clouds too. One neat effect, once we get above this layer, it might get less hazy. But we'll find out, I guess. So, icing. So, icing is a thing. Normally you won't pick up ice unless you're in the clouds or in precipitation. Really, that's kind of the only way to do it. You have to have liquid water in its liquid phase touching the airplane. And specifically, you have to have liquid water touching the airplane when the surface of the airplane is below freezing. Right now, we can see our outside air temperature on your air vent.
Julie Bravo will be clearing over
so we're like
the bay and heading back to Victoria.
7 or 8 Celsius.
What's the tower with 19-1 now?
About 7.
Yeah.
Julie Bravo, thanks.
So we wouldn't expect the freezing level until another 3,500 feet or so.
I'm not sure if he's coming right away, but I just over Finless and I just spotted
The one thing we can do, let's turn to 121.5, the emergency frequency.
Flight plan to come here, but I haven't talked to him yet.
The reason for that is twofold. One, if somebody did land out here and their ELT is going off, we'd detect that, and we could call into Seattle radio and let them know. And we might, we can help them triangulate.
Never could find it, yeah.
And then two, if something goes wrong, we immediately can talk to Seattle radio or guard on that. It's the same guys as the flight service guys that monitor that. Other things monitor it too, but flight service primarily.
There's Mount Si.
Yeah. This is good. This checks with the forecast. It said estimating around 7,000 feet or something is where the clouds are at. And we're at 65 right now, and they're slightly lower, slightly higher. Off in the distance, we do have some pretty good
Build up.
Yeah, build up. That would be something to avoid, but
But it should be moving that way, right?
yeah, because of the winds aloft. So this is looking good. Here we are, we're going along a valley, but we're over it. We're not going through it. If it's windy, that's going to keep us above the worst of the turbulence. The worst of the turbulence will happen kind of at or slightly below the mountain height, the height of the peak of the mountains. That's actually pretty smooth right now. Ooh.
Well, we should be climbing above this bottom of the cloud layer, right? So that we should get...
Yeah. And it doesn't look like the clouds are going, like the updrafts are going much higher than, you can see where the top of the updrafts are. So once you get above that, we wouldn't expect to find any updrafts. But as we get higher and higher in our density altitude, of course, the performance decreases.
Right.
And so here we are, about 300 or 400 feet per minute. That's about normal. You can see that's another reason not to try to outclimb terrain, because the higher you get, the less able the plane is.
need a bigger plane.
I said.
If you could have any plane, what would it be? Do you have a dream airplane?
The Skymaster.
Yeah, those are cool.
Was it?
I like those.
There's one parked at Ellensburg.
Oh, really?
Thank.
Nice. You'll have to point it out to me when we get there.
Not mine.
I got to fly one once.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the Museum of Flight owns an O2 from the Vietnam War, and yeah, I got to fly it for about 5 minutes. It was cool. That's a cool plane.
Were you a passenger?
I was, gosh, 10 years old or something, and doing a tour of the restoration facilities, and so the head of restoration, Tom Cathcart, just asked, he was like, hey, I'm gonna fly over to Renton, anybody want to come? We're like, yes? So I got to go. That was fun.
Well, I'm flying at, looks like we're curving a little bit, but I'm just going to keep going straight, right?
Good, okay. That'll be perfect. This will give us a chance to talk about crossing a ridge. How to do that properly.
Do we want to stay at 7,500?
Yeah, I think so. That'll be a good altitude. So, with higher altitudes, of course, hypoxia is a thing, right?
Right.
And I definitely feel it. 9,000 I can maybe start to feel it, but 10,000 and above I definitely feel it. Everybody has their own set of symptoms, and for each person they tend to get the same symptoms each time. So it's kind of your own unique fingerprint of hypoxia, if you will.
Okay.
So for me, what I notice is I'll tend to be breathing a little more, I'll feel tired, and I'll just feel a little bit slow, like I can't quite think quite as clearly.
My normal day.
Yeah, that too. And then on top of that, I don't really get tingling in the fingers, but I can feel it, like if I don't even know how to describe it, it's really weird. If I suck on my mouth, the roof of my mouth, instead of feeling hard, feels soft. I think it's because of the lower pressure, my internal body pressure is a little bit out. I don't know, so if I suck on my tongue, it feels all soft and spongy. I can just barely feel that right now. I typically don't get headaches, but that's a common one. And another common one is if you have someone who's really talkative, like an instructor, and you go really high.
Stop talking?
Yeah. And I notice that too. I'll be talking, gonna pause. What was I saying? Kind of like that. So, for hypoxia, you know, the height that a normally aspirated engine can go, some of these planes, sometimes they can go up to 18,000. A 172 can make it maybe 14,000 on like a really good day. So that won't be high enough to hurt anybody. Where it does hurt though is if you the pilot, if you're not, you know, fully thinking and on top of it. So, still, it's good to be aware of the symptoms, especially for passengers. So if you notice symptoms of somebody seeming out of it, like unresponsive but they're still sort of awake, or if you notice blue lips or blue fingernails, that's a bad sign. If they complain about feeling tingly, that's a sign of hypoxia. And then also, you know, not being able to think very clearly. All of those signs, if you detect those in you or your passengers, then the best thing to do is descend.
Come back down, right?
Yeah, and it fixes with altitude quite rapidly. What doesn't fix is carbon monoxide poisoning, which is also a form of hypoxia. It's the same thing. However, it's just caused by carbon monoxide. The symptoms are roughly the same. But the danger there is it doesn't fix itself with altitude. And carbon monoxide poisoning, if you're in your home and you started feeling really sleepy and it was carbon monoxide poisoning, you would leave the house, call an ambulance. I mean, it is a medical emergency. Same within an airplane. If you suspect carbon monoxide poisoning, you would close the heat,
Open the vents.
get really cold, and that's okay. You would descend, and you would just land as soon as practical. So you'd find the nearest airport that you could get an ambulance. So, I mention that because even in the summer when it's hot out, you get up here, and it's only 4 Celsius right now.
Right.
It gets pretty cold up here.
40 degrees outside, honey.
Yeah.
It feels nice, actually, I think. And you can see, right, with all the snow, too.
Yeah, the lakes are frozen still up there. Look.
Oh, whoa, yeah.
I drove this road for a year and a half every week.
Really? Oh wow.
From Tri-Cities to Seattle. I have never seen an airplane fly over this way.
They're probably way high up.
So it looks like that's our curve that comes around, right? I can't see the lake yet, but it's probably right on the other side. I see the road right there.
Okay.
So I'm just gonna follow, gonna stay around that cloud.
Perfect. So, crossing a ridge. If you can, if you do cross a ridge, you want to do it at least 1,000 feet above, if able. The reason for that is for updrafts and wind and stuff. It kind of keeps you clear of the worst of it. We can see this cloud sitting right here. It could either be thermal from the rock on top heating up and rising and drawing moisture from the snow, or it could be wind related. And I don't know. I bet it's probably wind because that's about the right direction. Same with that cloud. So that does indicate we have some updrafts. We might have the same off of these peaks here, but maybe just not strong enough to get up to the dew point, or to the altitude, which temperature means the dew point. So when we're crossing this ridge, we always want to think about our out. So if we get a really strong downdraft or we lose our engine, which way would we go? And I would say we'd probably do a left turn. That would get us back toward the freeway and back toward lower elevations.
Yeah, there's not much that way.
Yeah. And then as we go further, at some point our out will be actually probably to continue ahead or over toward the lake.
Right.
Yeah. I wouldn't want to land the plane and try spending the night out here. It looks cold and remote.
Yeah, other than the freeway, I don't see any clearings.
No, and there's not really much flat terrain either.
There's a patch over the left.
The ski slopes.
Land going up the slope. And yeah, that little patch over there.
Yeah,
Other than that, it's pretty much the freeway.
not big enough, yeah.
Yeah. I did a long cross country from Billings, Montana over to here, actually to Lewiston, for that first leg. And it was, for about an hour, I was in the mountains with nothing but mountains in every single direction as far as I could see. And I did not follow the freeway, and that was really dumb. Because I would have had to land, in that.
Concerned the whole time, probably, right?
Yeah, so on the way back I just followed I-90. Which, it added like 10 miles to the total distance,
right,
which is nothing compared, the 330 miles that it was or whatever. And so at this point, now that we're beyond the high terrain, it looks like our out would be to continue straight ahead or left.
That was a question.
I would pick this nice, straight, new freeway.
Yeah, me too.
3 lanes wide.
Not much traffic. I just land going with traffic. They're about the same speed. Actually, they've been beat faster. That's good, they'd see us.
Right.
The other thing that's common around the mountains, especially in the summertime, are forest fires. So temporary flight restrictions tend to go up around forest fires. So if you were flying along and you saw a column of smoke, I'd give it a nice wide berth. Go around, tune up flight service, and you could ask them. Be like, hey, I'm over wherever, just...
Here's our turbulence.
Yeah, a little bit of it. Yeah, so you can tell we're just, northeast of Stampede Pass. And are there any TFRs? I see some smoke out here. And if the worst case, that also tells them that there's smoke out there so they can give pilot reports to other people. Looking ahead, yeah, we definitely have some good buildups also on the horizon out there and over there.
So that's the cloud he probably said that's possible showers.
Okay, yeah.
South of Ellensburg, southeast, kind of. Because Ellensburg should be straight over that way.
Yeah, that looks about right.
So do we want to stay still to the right of the freeway as we fly, or do we just...
Well, you could continue straight, and then just keep in mind in that case, your out would probably be a right turn to a place you might not be able to see immediately. But we're 7,500 feet. The freeway is probably at about
2,000 down there.
Yeah, that sounds about right. So we got 5,500 feet. That's more than enough to turn and find a spot. So yeah, I'd say that would be fine. High density altitude effects on takeoff. But we know we don't have good performance.
Ellensburg's going to be at 90 degrees.
90 degrees and a little bit higher elevation, so it'll be less performance.
A little less performance, yeah. Looks like the clouds bases are high.
Yeah. One other thing to note for performance is stalling speeds. Our indicated stall speed will be about the same as it is at sea level. So, if in this configuration, at 1G, if we stall probably 50 miles per hour, then we'd be 50 miles per hour up here too. Icing procedure, I don't think I mentioned it. If, let's say we had some rain showers that we were going through and it was sticking to the airplane, the easiest way to tell if you're picking up ice is look down at your tire.
Yep.
And you can see it on the front edge.
On the black, yep.
And then if you do pick it up, you just descend if possible, otherwise turn around. That becomes a consideration in the mountains too, because you might not be able to descend safely.
If we noticed ice net right now, I would probably just go down in that valley.
Yeah.
So, and you're telling me the temperature would be below freezing, right? That would be...
Yeah. If we were picking up ice, yeah. And generally for it to stick, the surface of the airplane, like the metal skin, has to be below freezing. So it's possible, well, it doesn't happen very often, but it's possible if we were up above the freezing level and then descended down into warmer air, we could still be slightly below freezing for a little bit, but that's, that won't last very long. So at this point, I would not expect ice. However, it is possible to get supercooled droplets, which fall from a higher altitude, which were liquid, cool to below freezing, and then carry, they're still slightly below freezing as they come down here into warmer air, and then they hit and they freeze. But it should melt off. Well, and it's of course worth pointing out the power lines. It looks like this nice clean strip.
Yeah, don't do that.
But yeah, they are lurking in there.
Get us ready for the,
Well, there we go.
looks like we climbed a little bit.
Yeah.
That looks like rain going on over there.
Yeah, that does. Same with under those. So sometimes you get what's called virga, which is rain that evaporates before it hits the ground. And it's funny, in the textbooks it says that indicates severe downdrafts, and it's like kind of this severe phenomenon, but Eastern Washington or Montana, we got it like every day. It's just kind of normal. So it just means the rain evaporates. It's fairly dry out. That can indicate duplicate downdrafts because the rain pulls the air with it, and as it evaporates, the air carries momentum. But yeah, the clouds aren't that tall, so I wouldn't be too worried about it.
So no flying to the remote airports, right?
Well, as long as it's paved, then you can. But like we got, what is it, Easton or Bandera? I forget. The one right down there is,
Bandera we already passed, so this is east.
okay, Easton, yeah.
Second lake, right?
Yeah. So that one is
Unimproved.
Yeah.
By Ellensburg we could land there, but that's not backcountry.
Oh yeah.
Which looks like we're coming up. There's the town.
Yeah.
Airport should be behind it more.
I always have trouble finding the airport for KELN. Let's see, it's just east of it, north of the freeway. Okay.
Looks like there's two. Probably staring right at it. Probably that look.
Probably. There's Roslyn, there's KELN. It's got to be in that open green area, I guess.
So the peaks that are kind of to my left there, right? We're kind of about same elevation.
Yeah, that's the higher stuff. Oh yeah, behind your shoulder?
Yeah, back that way.
Yeah. And then the stuff off the right wing goes higher than this.
You think that's what we're getting here, maybe, possibly?
Could be. Yeah. Although the winds weren't that strong, so this might be thermal turbulence. Hard to say. Either way, I guess.
Oh, I see the windmill farm right there. Looks like it'll be right there. So we'll probably just, I'm sorry, Ellensburg. Probably KELN will start our descent.
Yeah, that sounds about right. I love the clouds.
So what about like flying around Mount Rainier or St. Helens?
Yeah, so
Obviously the wind is going to be a big factor, right?
yeah, the same principles apply to that, although more so, because they're so tall. The mountains, basically they go from above freezing to below freezing temperatures. So when you have air that's being pushed around up and up, from below freezing to above freezing, then it can make for more severe weather, especially thunderstorms can form off of that if it's moist enough and unstable enough. So you can do it, just keep your distance away from it, and always, follow the same principles. Don't fly below a peak, climb up first and then go over it. Keep your distance so that you are high enough above so that the winds at your altitude are going to be, the terrain at your altitude will be over there, not under you.
So Rainier, we obviously can't fly over it.
Right.
So if I wanted to do a loop around it, just for sightseeing,
Yeah.
I would say, the 50 miles or whatever, maybe
Yeah, and you can be
closer.
from here to the power lines there. I mean, it's okay as long as you keep your distance, especially on the upwind side and the downwind side. On the sides of it, it doesn't matter as much.
For the downwind side, I would expect that it's going to push me down somewhat.
Yeah, that's what you expect it to be most turbulent and pushing you down. And then as you do that, just always keep in mind, which direction is your turn in an emergency. Basically, you just want to avoid getting yourself into a situation where you have to rely on the climb performance to get out of it.
Right.
So, yeah, just, keep your distance. Be respectful of the mountain. As it's a very large thing that creates its own weather. And I always like to think about also there are lots of hikers and people that go around it too, and I don't want to be buzzing,
Yeah, no.
I don't want to be a
I'm not going to be that close.
Yeah.
I see the airport right here, so it's right at the tree line edge.
Oh, is it?
Okay, I'll, so you can see it on the other side.
Okay, cool, thanks. Oh, there it is. Okay, yeah. Yeah, just kind of hiding in there. Oh, thanks.
Alright, so let's enrich our mixture. We'll pull a car feet. About 20 out.
Bowers Field Airport, Ellensburg, Washington. Automated weather observation 2303 Zulu. Wind 280 at 19er. Peak gusts 24. Visibility 10.
Awesome.
Sky condition clear. Temperature 26 Celsius. Dew point 06 Celsius. Altimeter 29er 3. Remarks. Density altitude 3,500. Bowers Field Airport, Ellensburg, Washington. Automated weather observation 2304 Zulu. Wind 280 at 19er. Peak gusts 24. Visibility 10. Sky condition clear. Temperature 26.
I feel that slightly rough running engine. Let's enrich in the mixture. Yeah, that should help it. And then we can even keep our power up a little bit if you want. Yeah.
Yep, clay yellow right below us.
A couple of weekends ago, or my weekends, Wednesday and Thursday, I hopped on my bike and I went around Highway 2, down 97, then right through here by Cleolum, and then back on 990 to the big old loop. Yeah, that was fun.
What kind of bike?
The red Yamaha that's parked outside Pope Light right now. Right out on the airplane side, by the front door.
We're roughly 10 miles, I would say.
Alright.
Listen in, let's see what's going on over there.
Freeway dips down, so it's kind of down there. It might be, we're like, they call it 15. Nearest, Ellensburg, oh, 15.1, there we go.
Is good?
Yeah, mine is fine, yeah, thanks.
Taking a nap?
Nope, I'm right in Leroy.
Oh,
Sending a point-by-point report to my brother.
awesome.
One of the first times that she went with me in Tri-Cities, we were 6,000 or 7,000 feet. And I did like an emergency descent, right, basically, and that hurt her ears.
Nearly died. He didn't even know I was in pain, and I'm going, oh, you gotta stop whatever it is you're doing.
Oh no.
Now bring earplugs.
That's a good idea. I've had that same thing happen.
That's awful, isn't it?
Yeah. And it just hurt, like, pain you can't get to, and it just hurts on the inside.
It's not a plug, it's a pain.
Yeah.
277, right base to 30.
30 at some other airport. And just out of curiosity, for the flight plan, did you file over and back?
Oh, just one way.
Just one way, okay.
So we gotta stop and file the trip back.
Oh, okay. Or that works.
Or not.
We can do.
I gotta cancel it when I land there, so we still have 20 minutes. I did an hour.
Okay. Yeah, we could even air file.
I see the airport.
Good.
So, it looks like we're right in the V of those two runways. And it's standard pattern for 29. So I think I'm gonna come around on a 45, so I'll just... Yeah, it's 2,600 feet. Got a long ways to go. So you went KRNT nearest.
Yeah, so the big knob is going to change. There's nav, waypoint, aux, and nearest. And then you go more, it doesn't go any further. And if the page is
They go to pages, yeah.
yeah, then the pages are the different. So airport, intersection, NDB, VOR, I think is the order it goes in. So nearest airport. And then to scroll through it, I pushed for the cursor. And then you just always scroll with the big knob.
Okay.
So you just scroll down. You need,
Oh, so that's one page. You can scroll down, because the next page,
there you go. The next page is...
gives you a different, gotcha.
Yeah.
But that's the airports. Okay.
Yeah. And then there you get your info, so the bearing. So 2 Whiskey 1, whichever one it is, northwest of us, and then 6 miles away, 6.5.
Alright, so then we'll make a phone call. A radio call. A phone call. Ellensburg area traffic, Skyhawk 90730 Victor, 9 miles to the west at 5,000 inbound for landing 29, Ellensburg. Funny, I don't hear myself when I'm push the button.
Oh, really? Oh.
Okay,
I can hear you.
I hear you too.
that's good.
That's Joey's quiet.
Passing out.
I'm just not saying anything, I guess. Kind of watching the terrain go by.
This is home sweet home for us out here.
Yeah. Nice.
We've been to Ephrata, I think it's probably the closest one to this spot.
Oh, yeah. One of my best friend since forever went to school out here. For a couple years while I was still in Seattle, and then I was in Montana, so either way I'd come do long road trips out here. And I've flown here a few times, but not that many.
There's a fly-in at the end of the month at Sundance Aviation.
Nice. That'd be fun. I want to do more air shows and fly-ins.
Yeah.
Alright, so I need to lose some altitude before we get there, because we're 1,600.
Yeah.
I'm going to just pull up a bit.
I can see the wind and the water in the fields down there. Wow.
Work out here pretty bad.
Yeah, and the wind's pushing us too.
Yeah. Funny, there's very little traffic here on the weekends.
Ellensburg area traffic, Skyhawk 90730 Victor on 45 at 3,000, 2 miles southwest of the airfield for landing 29, Ellensburg.
Probably 100 degrees here.
What was it? 26 Celsius, so it's, oh, high 70s.
Really? Nice.
Yeah. That's a good temperature.
Oh, There's our TPA. Ridge, fuel bulk, landing lights on, primers locked.
And just don't, make sure not to go below your pattern altitude. So just make sure once you level out that you actually level the plane off. It's easy to let it accidentally continue slipping lower. Nobody coming in.
Ellensburg air traffic, Skyhawk 9730 Victor on left downwind for 29, full stop. Ellensburg. That wind is carrying us like crazy. Okay, got our curb heat. Upstand.
Hi, Central.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, we're getting a little slow, so turn sharper and lower the nose. There you go. You can see the wind.
I'm turning, but I'm not turning. So, stay with the flaps where they are.
Yeah. Make sure to make your calls.
Ellensburg air traffic, Skyhawk 9730 Victor on final for 29, full stop. Ellensburg. Kind of a round base, final. The one's going to be a little bit from the left.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I can see it on the grass down there.
Yeah, the trees are whipping.
Yeah.
Pretty part of the core out here. This is where he cut his teeth.
Yeah. That's good. Good experience, good practice. Alright, gears down.
Great training. Oh.
Good, and then just keep working it. Keep working it. Keep working it. There you go, keep working it.
There we go.
There it is. And then just keep your ailerons over to the left. So we do have a bit of a left crosswind.
Don't know, there's taxiways out here.
I think there's one almost all the way at the end. If we keep going, we'll see it. It'll be on the left.
Here often?
Again?
Do you come here often? When you train?
Oh, sometimes, yeah. Actually, just last week I did a flight out here, an IFR flight,
Oh,
and it was wind almost identical to this.
this is typical.
Yeah. And then for the mountain checkouts, of course, we always come out here.
Then there's the windy days.
That's what it was like in Montana, yeah. It would be, gusting to 25.
Yeah.
Not bad, and then you get a day where it's 30, gusting to 40.
Right.
Well, then, switch those ailerons over now that we're the other way. Alright.
Ellensburg air traffic, Skyhawk 9730 Victor is clear off 29, Ellensburg. Okay, flaps are up. On standby. Off. Window open.
Oh yeah.
Up heat's off.
Up out the door. There we go.
Okay. So can I call 122.2 or whatever the radio from the ground?
Well, yeah, and you can see what it is over here. We can taxi while we do it. Oh yeah, 122.2.
I never try to call from the ground, I always calling it in. Enough.
Yeah, usually we can. We'll just try it. There you go. So we can taxi.
Skyhawk 90730 Victor.
Skyhawk November 90730 Victor, Seattle Radio.
Seattle Radio, Skyhawk 90730 Victor would like to close my VFR flight plan to Ellensburg.
November 30 Victor, flight plan's closed. Good one. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Good. And then, do you want to file again? We could even file with him. Do we want to file again and go now, or did you guys want to stop?
You want to stop?
It's up to you guys. I'm good. Whatever you want to do.
We've got plenty of time.
Oh, yeah, because we have till 6, don't we?
Oh, we could do some maneuvers out here.
In the wind, do some
We got a full open sky.
That's right. Now, slow down. I'll make a call.
Ellensburg traffic, Skyhawk 90730 Victor crossing 11:27:25. Don't stop on the runway.
Yeah, stop before the hold short. Continue across the runway.
It's not in such bad shape. Looks like they mowed the grass.
Yeah, it does actually. Maybe someone went out there with scissors.
What's out here?
Well, the Forest Service operates some Hueys. They also operate Cobra, which I don't see there, but it's a retired Cobra helicopter, which is kind of cool. And then
FBO on the left.
yeah, we'll go that way.
There's some fresh water. All that talking.
Wind is 2.
Alright, there you go.
And there's a school too here, right?
Yeah, Central does their aviation program. New or
That's state. Yeah, that's down.
Yeah.
That's the FBO, looks like.
Yeah, I think so. And then we could, I don't know where we park actually.
Looks like right here.
Tell you what, let's actually go around behind these guys and we'll pull up kind of in this spot right on the end maybe. Just that way, we're sort of out of the way.